This property sleeps 50 people. There are not many Airbnbs in the Cleveland area that sleep 50 people. We bring in one of our designers. It's about turning the entire property into something cohesive and something that appeals to people. All right, so this is a space that we've talked a lot to the owner about that is really being underutilized here. Honestly, some old couches and a big old, really cool architectural drawing desk, but it doesn't really have much function for our guests. What would you want if you were staying here with a group of people? So this is the lobby of the Victor, which is our largest rental, at least in terms of the number of people it sleeps. So this property sleeps 50 people. There are not many Airbnbs in the Cleveland area that sleep 50 people. This might actually be the only one. It was called the Cleveland Hostel, but unfortunately COVID kind of hurt that business pretty badly. So the owner of this property hired us to help transform it into an Airbnb and manage it for him. So back before we took over, this space actually used to be a coffee shop where people staying at the hostel could come in and get coffee and stuff like that. So we kind of tore all that out and made this more of just like a sitting room lounge area. We've got some Cleveland brochures and visitors guides and stuff like that, but just kind of a welcome area where people could sit and chill until the rest of their party was ready to go out or arrived or whatever. So from the beginning, this was something totally different for us. So we didn't really know what the potential of this property is, just that it's something very unique. And I think we're honestly still figuring out the potential of this property about 2 years later, figuring out how to continue to position it. Because honestly, most people that are on Airbnb aren't looking for places that sleep 50 people. We're really still trying to figure out how to get in front of those groups. That said, it's been doing really well. It did about $165,000 in gross revenue. So yeah, when we took over this property, it was basically an inactive hostel. It's now doing well into the six figures every year. Still a lot of upside there as we continue to tweak the amenities and the marketing and things like that. Yeah, I mean, on this floor, honestly, we haven't done too much other than, ripping out the coffee shop and making this into just kind of like a chill sitting area. So most of the changes have been upstairs. So there's this first floor welcome area. There's rooms on the second and third floor. And then there's a rooftop deck where you can see city skyline and stuff. You can see the west side market. It's pretty cool. So this place has two different sleeping floors, the second floor and the third floor. And we rent it out either by the floor or you can rent out the whole building. So you can just rent out the second floor if you don't have 50 people. Each floor has 7 or 8 rooms, 15 total rooms, a bunch of bathrooms, 1, 2, 3, 4 bathrooms. And I think a couple of these rooms also have private bathrooms in them too. So 5 or 6 bathrooms up here. And then we've got this really cool open living space here. So again, we didn't make a lot of changes here. We did add pool table or the ping pong table. We added the dartboard and the arcade game just to make this a little more of like a fun space for people. But other than that, this is kind of how it looked when we inherited it. Long term, we would like to improve this space a little bit, modernize some of the seating, add some more amenities and activities. I would personally add a couple more arcade games and things like that. Maybe an even bigger TV here. We bring in one of our designers to handle those conversations, but it is about, it's about turning the entire property into something cohesive and something that appeals to people in just a couple pictures. And so we're looking for what we call a hero shot, which is the one cover photo that makes someone click on the listing and say, I want to book this place. So here it could be the rooftop shot, or if we make some updates here, it could be a pool table or a gym or something like that. But this is a tricky place because it's hard to capture. The real thing that stands out about this place is that it sleeps 50 people all in one place. And it's pretty impossible to capture that with the photo. So we're trying to get a couple photos here that make it look like an awesome place to stay when someone does come in there looking for somewhere for 20, 30, 40, 50 people to sleep at the same time. The one thing here in this kitchen that's really nice is this massive industrial sink. So actually I stayed here with a group of guys for a weekend and it was nice to have that. We could just dump all the dirty dishes and pots and pans and stuff. And we had an assembly line of people going, cleaning dishes, rinsing, drying, got our mess cleaned up pretty quickly. So this was a huge thing. We also got this big fridge here, industrial fridge, where you can store all your food for, a week or a weekend or whatever. And then behind you, these cubby holes are also some nice storage. You put all your groceries and stuff there. So just a nice big kitchen. Is fully stocked, plenty of plates, the big pots and pans and stuff. So it's great for a large group. No, we got a totally different layout up on the third floor. So we'll take you up there and show you that too. All right, here we are on the third floor. Come on in. All right, so this is a space that we've talked a lot to the owner about that is really being underutilized here. Honestly, some old couches and a big old, really cool architectural drawing desk, but it doesn't really have much function for our guests. So this is somewhere we've been talking about upgrading: a big TV, a pool table, and then maybe some sort of counter or something with some stools and turning it on almost into like a little sports bar type of hangout area. I want to know what you guys think. Out of all the things that I just said, what would you invest in, or what would you want if you were staying here with a group of people? And so you can see kind of the same layout with the bedrooms here. We've got bedrooms all around the edges. We've got a row of bathrooms right here. Again, a couple suites here with the private bathrooms. This floor sleeps 20 something people depending on the layouts of the beds. And again, enough bathrooms for everyone, which is really nice. So here's the common area up here. It's definitely a smaller space. You know, we still got the seating area. We got some really cool decor here. The owners collected a bit of an eclectic collection of Cleveland memorabilia and photography. So quirky decor here, but I think it works for the type of place it is. The kitchen here is a little bit smaller, but still super functional and fully stocked. Then we've got sort of like private bedroom back here. This is another area that we've been talking about transforming into something a little more practical. So the main conversation we've had here is turning this into more of like a fitness center space. So putting in some rubberized floors, you know, a set of dumbbells, a treadmill, a stationary bike. And if it were up to me, I'd go in here in this gigantic walk-in closet that nobody needs, and I'd turn this into like a nice little sauna room in there for people to hang out. To qualify your amenity as a gym on Airbnb, all you have to do is click the button on Airbnb that says, I have a gym. Yeah, so I think you need a dedicated space. It doesn't have to be a private room or something like that, but like more than one piece of equipment, right? So I think, like I said here, I would want like a couple dumbbells, a bike, a treadmill, maybe like some yoga mats, a medicine ball. I think you're good. I think you can call that a gym. I think you've got a little bit of everything here. You've got some seating, not enough seating for 20 some people, but you're just not going to get that into this space, which is why we kind of want to update those other spaces. But yeah, it's functional, I think, so it works. There's only so much you can do with it. Yeah, one of the coolest amenities here is the rooftop deck upstairs. There's a bunch of seating up there. We got the string lights. It's just a great place to go up in the summer, in the evening, have a beer or whatever, enjoy the skyline.